Let's get right into it.
Number 10. Picture this. You're stranded on a raft in the middle of the ocean. No snacks, no Netflix, no Wi-Fi, basically a nightmare. The sun's blasting you like a rotisserie chicken, and you're thirstier than you've ever been in your life. Right there, surrounding you on all sides, is the biggest, juiciest, most tainting pool of water you've ever seen. Your brain, being the unhelpful drama queen it is, goes, "Drink it, just a sip. What's the worst that could happen?" Well, the worst is your kidneys sending you a resignation letter. See, seawater is about 3 to 4 times saltier than your blood. When you drink it, your body has to flush out all that extra salt. And to do that, it needs more water than you just drank. Congratulations, you've just made yourself thirstier. It's like borrowing money from a loan shark who charges double interest and then breaks your kneecaps for fun. People who've tried this brilliant survival instinct don't end up hydrated. They end up delirious, hallucinating, and eventually shutting down like a Windows Vista computer. Your brain literally fries in the salt overload. Basically, drinking seawater when you're dehydrated is like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. Sure, you technically poured liquid on it, but you're not walking away from that blaze.
Number 9.
Some survival instincts are borrowed from the animal kingdom, and they should have stayed there. For example, people sometimes think, "Oh hey, that wild animal knows where food and water is. I'll just follow it." Sounds logical, until you realize the animal in question is a bear, and you just invited yourself to its dinner party. Spoiler, you're the entree. Even if you trail something less murdery, like a deer, your chances aren't great. Deer can smell water, sure, but they can also sprint into a predator's mouth faster than you can say, "Bad idea." Now you're standing in the middle of the woods, panting like you just failed gym class, while a pack of wolves wonders why dinner showed up already gift-wrapped in cargo shorts. The deeper problem here is that human brains desperately want to outsource survival to anything that looks like it knows what it's doing. A deer looks confident? Must be onto something. A bird flaps that way? Let's follow. But in reality, animals don't care about your survival. They're too busy doing their own weird stuff, like migrating hundreds of miles or walking straight into a swamp because it's Tuesday. Following them is basically trusting a toddler with your GPS. Sure, they'll take you somewhere, but you're not gonna like it.
Number 8.
So, you're lost in the woods. No granola bars, no DoorDash, just endless green leaves staring back at you. At some point, your inner caveman pipes up, "Well, plants are natural, so they must be safe, right?" And that, my friend, is how people end up poisoned by something that looks suspiciously like parsley, but is actually a one-way ticket to liver failure. Here's the thing. Just because a squirrel is chewing on it doesn't mean you should. Squirrels also eat things like bark and literal trash. Their Yelp reviews are not trustworthy. In nature, being the chaotic prankster it is, has this habit of making deadly plants look exactly like harmless ones. Hemlock, oleander, nightshade, they all look like they'd go perfectly in a salad bowl right before they shut down your nervous system like someone yanking the plug on a computer. Biologically, your eat plants equals survive instinct comes from a time when humans lived in tribes and grandma nature trial-tasted everything time, so the rest of the group didn't have to. But out in the wilderness alone, that instinct just makes you a contestant on Survivor Darwin Awards edition. Eating a mystery leaf won't give you energy. It'll give you cramps, convulsions, and the kind of bathroom experience they don't warn you about in survival guides. So, unless you can identify plants with the confidence of a botanical professor, your best bet is to leave the salad bar to the goats.
Number 7. You've seen this one in every panic situation ever. Someone realizes they're lost, their brain goes into fight or flight, and guess which one they pick? Flight. As in sprinting full speed into the forest with no idea where they're going. It feels like action. It feels like survival. But in reality, it's just cardio with a death wish. Running blindly burns calories and water like you're trying to set a world record for dehydration. Worse, you could trip, twist an ankle, or slam straight into something sharp because Mother Nature doesn't care about your parkour ambitions. And if you think adrenaline makes you faster, sure, for the first 100 yards. After that, you're just sweaty, wheezing, and now even more lost because you bolted away from the one landmark you had,
the spot you started panicking in. Psychologically, the instinct makes sense. Your brain is wired to escape danger by moving. It worked great when the danger was a saber-toothed tiger. But modern survival situations don't play by those rules. Running aimlessly in the woods is like hitting the shuffle button on your GPS. You'll end up somewhere, but it's not likely to be civilization. Basically, unless you're being actively chased by an angry bear with abandonment issues, your best move is to not run. Sit, think, conserve energy, and avoid turning your survival story into a slapstick chase scene.
Number 6. Ah, yes, the Bear Grylls Special. You've probably heard it before. If you're dying of thirst, just recycle your pee. Sounds like a genius life hack. Your body made it, so it must be good for you, right? Wrong. Very, very wrong. Here's the unfiltered truth. Pee is basically the trash juice of your body. It's full of excess salts, toxins, and waste your kidneys desperately wanted out. Drinking it is like rummaging through your own garbage, finding a half-eaten burrito and saying, "Dinner's served." Sure, you might feel hydrated for a hot second, but it's a vicious cycle. With every gulp, you're cranking up the concentration of salt and waste in your system until your kidneys wave the white flag and collapse. In the short term, one sip probably won't kill you. But making it your go-to hydration strategy is a fast pass to kidney failure, delirium, and the kind of breath that could melt steel. Plus, it doesn't even quench your thirst. The more you drink, the thirstier you get. It's like trying to wash mud off your hands using more mud. The real kicker? By the time your body produces urine in a survival scenario, you're already dehydrated, which means your pee is darker, saltier, and even more toxic than normal. So, yeah, survival instinct or not, the only thing you're surviving is long enough to regret the taste.
Number 5. You've seen it in movies. The hero builds a cozy little fire inside a cave or a makeshift hut, warming their hands like they just invented civilization. And while it looks smart, it's actually a fantastic way to carbon monoxide yourself into an early grave. Fire is tricky. Yes, it keeps you warm and cooks your food, but it also produces smoke and gases that love to hang out in enclosed spaces. Light up a fire inside a poorly ventilated hut, and you're basically hosting a sleepover with asphyxiation. First, you'll get sleepy, then dizzy, then nothing, because you've passed out and won't be waking up. There's also the tiny problem of setting your shelter on fire. That little spark you nurtured so proudly, yeah, it doesn't care that you spent 3 hours building walls out of damp sticks. It'll happily torch the whole place while you watch in disbelief. Great job! You survived the cold only to roast yourself like a marshmallow. Your survival instinct says fire equals life. Biology wired us to seek warmth, light, and cooked food. But without ventilation and fire safety, that instinct just means you've swapped freezing to death for smoking yourself like a Thanksgiving turkey.
Number 4. This one sounds like survival gold. Just follow the river. It'll lead you to civilization. And yes, in theory, rivers often end near towns, villages, or at least somewhere humans have set up shop. But what survival guides don't tell you is that rivers are basically obstacle courses built to ruin your life. First off, rivers don't come with nice walking paths like in Instagram travel reels. They come with jagged cliffs, slippery rocks, thick vegetation, and rapids that look like they were designed by Poseidon's personal rage issues. So instead of strolling your way to safety, you're burning calories, twisting ankles, and occasionally almost drowning because you thought you could just cross here real quick. Spoiler, you couldn't. Also, rivers don't flow in a straight line to a Starbucks. They meander, loop, and sometimes vanish into swampy nothingness. And if you're already low on energy, playing follow the leader with a river means you're walking further, burning faster, and probably heading straight into terrain that's way harder to survive. Your instinct here makes sense. Water is life, and people do build near rivers. But without a map or clear landmarks, following water downstream can take you so far off course that you'll end up more lost than you started. Basically, unless you're a salmon with GPS, don't blindly follow the river like it's the yellow brick road.
Number 3. You're thirsty, it's freezing, and hey, there's water just sitting there in fluffy, Instagram-ready piles. Your survival instinct screams, snow equals hydration. But here's the cruel joke. Eating snow is one of the fastest ways to speedrun hypothermia. Snow is basically frozen air with a dash of water. Chowing down on it drops your core temperature right when you need it to stay up. So instead of feeling refreshed, your body has to waste valuable energy just to warm the snow into liquid. Imagine needing money and instead of getting a paycheck, you get a bill for heating costs. That's what snow does. Plus, unless you're scooping from a pristine mountaintop, snow is basically nature's lint trap. It can hold dirt, animal droppings, or whatever fell from the sky that week. So congrats, you're not just dehydrated, you now have diarrhea in a survival situation. Double win. The real move is melting snow first, preferably over a fire. But since your instincts might tell you to jam it straight into your mouth like a desperate kid raiding the freezer, all you'll succeed in doing is freezing your insides and speeding up the part where you stop moving altogether.
Number 2.
You've seen it in movies. Someone gets bit, their buddy goes full superhero and starts sucking out the venom like they're a human vacuum cleaner. In reality, all you're doing is giving yourself a mouthful of poison and bacteria. Venom spreads through the bloodstream fast. By the time you're leaning down to play Snake Bite Smoothie, it's already moving through their body. Oh, and if you've got cuts in your mouth, congrats! Now you're poisoned too. Survival instinct, help your friend. Reality, make 2 funerals instead of 1.
Number 1. Your brain loves the idea that rescue's just around the corner. Stay calm, stay still, stay lost forever. In wide-open wilderness, if no one knows where you went, waiting around is basically camping with no end date. Moving smartly toward landmarks, roads, or higher ground massively improves your odds. But instincts whisper, just wait, someone will find you. That works in airports, not forests. Out there, patience isn't a virtue, it's a death sentence.